All right. That should be up. We'll get confirmation on the iPad here in just a second, but what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Illuminated Live at the Poughkeepsie Grind. Here today with Don Minichino. I'm saying that right this time, right?
You got it right,
I've been practicing.
Awesome.
A lot for this day. Welcome. What's up, buddy?
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me on.
Don, a fellow neighbor, first ward citizen, community organizer. If I was to lump some of your skills into one kind of, yeah,
I'll take it.
What would you encompass your? If you were to say a career title.
I'm just a marketing guy that loves helping people
Marketing guy. All right.
That's it.
I had a meeting with the mayor this week, and the whole thing I was like, it's all about brand. I'm like, it's all about brand, baby. We gotta sell Poughkeepsie. We gotta get people to come.
We're getting there.
Buy. Yeah, we are.
But
welcome, man.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks for coming on. Don represents a ton of great community organizations, not just here in the city, but the county. Most notably, I think, representing Think Dutchess. Other concepts, First Friday, Hudson Valley Young Professionals, Sparrow's Nest. I could keep going on, I think. But
you're embarrassing me, man.
Oh, come on, man. He's putting in work. This guy's putting in work here in Poughkeepsie, trying to make it an awesome place, and I think doing nothing but great things just from my experience here with First Friday since I met you. For those who don't know, and probably nobody knows, Don and I used to live in the same building at 110 Mill Street. I'm not going to tell you what apartment he is. But Tinkleman Architecture.
Yeah.
Great spot. And probably the first place I ended up when I came to Poughkeepsie was that place. So it's been great meeting you, man.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. Mount Carmel's really kind of where it's at. It's such a beautiful, it's like a village tucked in the middle of the city.
It is.
I grew up in the area. I grew up in Stormville, coming up to Poughkeepsie, as a legal 21-year-old drinker.
Mm-hmm. Nothing but.
We'd come up here, go to some of the bars and even some of the nightclubs on occasion, and we'd frequent a few spots in Mount Carmel, and that's really all I knew about Poughkeepsie growing up.
Right.
And I got this job about 3.5 years ago, and a big part of it's kind of helping revitalize the city. And then figured to myself, like, what better way than to just get in the thick of it? And so I just started driving around Poughkeepsie, and I just discovered Mount Carmel, and I thought to myself, how have I never seen this place before?
Okay.
So is
that what they're calling it these days? It's not Little Italy anymore.
Well, Little Italy was a marketing campaign that started, I think, around 2010, 2011. Lasted a few years, kind of fizzled out a little bit when a few businesses left.
All right.
But Mount Carmel is what it's commonly known as. Named after the church, obviously.
For sure, absolutely. And I still live there. I mean, I've only moved half a block away, so I didn't make it too far.
You didn't go far, man.
No, yeah. It is awesome. Mount Carmel's a great church. We get a lot of the parish that comes through here represents. They're doing First Friday for
the fish fries.
The fish fry. I'm sorry, not First Friday. Yeah, for Lent, fish fries. Mm-hmm. It just happens to be First Friday.
Yep.
So glad you didn't start the celebrations this month, because I think you would have had a wash today.
Yeah, we're getting things going for this year already. We've been having a lot of planning meetings the past few months, and
right.
we're getting very close to rolling out a plan for the entire year. Last year when we started First Friday in August, we really didn't know the kind of reception we were going to get. Mm-hmm. We just kind of figured, let's get a couple of food vendors together, let's get a couple of beverage vendors together. Let's put a nice name to this. Let's do a nice branding, a nice logo, and just invite a bunch of people and see what happens. And in August, we did the street fair, and the 15 or so of us that are on the executive committee just kind of looked around, and we were just like, oh my God, like, where'd all these people come from? This is insane. We had almost 1,000 people the first month.
It was a jammer.
And so we had to kind of hustle the next week to figure out, well, how are we going to make this work every month? How are we going to continue this momentum? So we did it through November. We stuck with Mural Square, beautiful location right downtown. That's where all the action is. In October, we took it to, Mount Carmel, Little Italy,
right.
for our own version of San Gennaro, which, kicked butt again. I mean,
I was there. It was dope.
Just so many people.
That was my first
That was your first. I was just going to say, I think that was the first time that you were there as a vendor, and it's incredible to see the support coming out, and to see a lot of strollers too, to see a lot of families going.
Right.
We don't want to be a beer bash. We don't want to be a drinking festival. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to become. Right. We're trying to be this family oriented event, and it's really kind of turned into a big community movement. So, just to kind of talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing this year.
I want to talk more about it.
Stop.
But I want to hear a little bit more about you first.
Okay.
And I got to hit this intro music. It's Illuminated Live. You're at the Poughkeepsie Grind. I got to hit it. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
What do you think? Good coffee?
It's good.
Not bad. I feel like it's a little too hot.
I'm a big fan of
off-the-cuff coffee.
Dude, I drink iced coffee year-round.
Me too.
Big fan.
I call myself a bottom feeder because it's kind of just like, oh, that's what we got left. Iced coffee.
Dude, it doesn't matter.
I dig it.
Like, I get come in here and get your iced mocha all the time.
Oh,
it's,
That's good. But Don, how did you end up in Poughkeepsie? You're not from here, right? From New York City area?
I'm from Yonkers.
Okay.
And I say that term very loosely.
The sixth borough?
Yeah, the sixth borough. My parents both grew up in Yonkers, and so, my parents had me, my three sisters, so I'm the second of four, the only boy. Yeah, you can feel sorry for
Middle
me now.
child.
It's
Damn,
all good.
Sorry. My wife is too, all right?
Yeah. So, the six of us actually, spent, the first bit of our childhood, first half of our childhood in a 2-bedroom apartment in Yonkers. I remember as a kid, the first few years I could remember things. I was like sleeping in a bed next to my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Like times were kind of rough. It was just different. My parents got this opportunity to, give a better life for us and kind of move upstate, so to speak. And so just like a lot of people up here, we came from Westchester. So my parents moved us up here. I was a little kid. And, I moved up to an acre and a half, nice home, and grew up next to a horse farm.
Nice, man.
So we grew up, riding quads, dirt bikes.
Yeah, you were saying the country.
All sorts of stuff.
Country kid, right?
I'm kind of like a little bit of like a city country hybrid.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up in the middle of nowhere outside of Amsterdam, New York, which I have a lot of fun introducing myself that I'm from Amsterdam, and I get the whole, Amsterdam? No. And
did you guys have a red light district up there?
No. It's like a, I hope that they get on the ball that Poughkeepsie's on, and a lot of the things we're about to talk about. I hope there's somebody out there in Amsterdam doing the same thing. And I think they are. They just built a new little walk bridge themselves. They have a very small slice of the Mohawk River that stems off of the Hudson, and they repurposed the original footings from the original bridge back in the day to be a pedestrian bridge to connect the south side to the main part of the city. So I think they're trying to facilitate some sort of walkability or increased traffic in their what used to be downtown area. They made the move where they dropped the mall squares in the middle of the city and kind of set them back a little bit because now the mall's vacant and either sides of it are as well.
It's a lot of that same stuff happened in small towns and cities across the country.
Right.
During the 80s, that was like the heyday of the big malls, and downtowns were kind of like a thing of the past at that point. To our parents' generation, and so there
was exciting times. People were quick to pull the trigger on a mall.
Yeah, and
malls where it's at.
Yeah, so you look at Poughkeepsie, a lot of the same stuff happened. Lucky Platte used to be like our Macy's.
Right.
And then there was the Wallace department store across from it, which is now the Indotronics building.
Right.
They kind of were like dueling department stores. There was a lot of excitement, there at one time, and it's slowly coming back.
I hear people mention that building and their hopes for it quite often. I think just being the biggest structure on Main Street, people are pretty hopeful for it. I'm a big fan of this graffiti artist, Shepard Fairey, and I'm hoping he comes. We can champion him to come do a full piece. That's kind of his thing, but set your goals high. But so from Yonkers, moved up here, ended up in Poughkeepsie. How did you get started with Think Dutchess? What was your?
So I went to school locally. Went to Dutchess Community College. Changed majors a few times. Ended up at Mount St. Mary across the river in Newburgh.
Okay.
Got a marketing communications degree. Came out of college. I was doing some freelance writing and reporting. For an online outfit called Mid-Hudson News. They were actually the first online news source in the Hudson Valley. They were way ahead of their time.
Nice.
They started back in '99. My father actually was a cameraman for WTZA, which was a TV station here back in the '90s. So he made some good contacts there, and he connected me with some good people in the industry. So I was doing a freelance writing photography gig with with Mid Hudson News, and that kind of turned into getting into the marketing and PR world. So I got a gig with a company out of Goshen called Focus Media. At the time, there were just 4 of us, in a small office up in Monticello, and company blossomed into almost 20 people within just a few years. They relocated to Goshen, kind of expanded a little bit. I was with him for about 7 years. I learned a lot there, and just started kind of looking for what was next. I learned a lot in that position, and I wanted to take something that I was learning there and kind of help home a little bit, so to speak. So I started looking for some work back in Dutchess County because I always lived here. I moved to Beekman very briefly, but I saw this job come up for the county, which was then Dutchess County Economic Development Corporation. And I thought to myself, it's a little bit of real estate, it's a little bit of marketing. You'll learn the real estate side. You'll bring the marketing to it, and the rest will kind of fall into place. And I got hired, and here we are 3.5 years later. So right around that same time, I thought to myself, what, I'm going to move to Poughkeepsie. I'm going to do something different that I've never done before. Right. And I'm going to live in an apartment in the middle of downtown Poughkeepsie. And as much as my family thought I was a little nuts for doing that, it was a bold move that had to be made. I have to practice what I preach, and how am I going to tell people about the great things that are happening in Poughkeepsie and convince them to move here and visit here if I don't do it myself?
Yeah, can't talk about it. Got to be about it. So that company became Think Dutchess, the Dutchess County
Economic Development Corporation. Yeah, there was a bit of a shift. I mean, it happens in our industry because we're quasi-government organizations. It's rebranding.
Think Dutchess is way easier to say.
It is, and Think Dutchess is actually a marketing slogan for Dutchess County that goes back to the mid-'90s. Nice. So we went back into the archives looking for a new name. And it just kind of came to us like a light bulb moment. We're just like, Think Dutchess. It rings. No other economic development corporations are really doing branding. Right. They're all just the name of their county, followed by EDC. Yeah. So we're doing something completely different.
I'm glad. I think it's great. Not just your organizations, but the city itself. Big companies in the area, Vassar Medical, are doing a lot of the same thing. Even myself, with this podcast. Trying to increase the impact or outreach or arm's length of people we can touch and try to influence to come down here, because it is awesome. And it's something I've never seen before. And I think a lot like you, I came from a company that prioritized a lot of giving back and putting it back into the community. I think I might have said something like that on the last podcast, but working with the skate park was an easy transition for me. I sold skateboards and snowboards for a decade, turned a seasonal sales position into a career, or what could have been a career. Sorry, Zoomies. I love you, but I mean, they taught me everything I know as far as management and putting it back, paying it forward, if you were to say it shortly. But it's awesome. I think the first Friday is huge. It's only been 4 so far total.
First Fridays? Yeah. August, September, October, November. It's only been 4.
Is First Friday part of the Think Dutchess initiatives, or is that a separate?
It's completely separate. Okay. I got just personally involved in First Friday just through connections that I've made. Just being in Poughkeepsie, and I'm always looking for different ways to get involved in the community. A lot of what I do with Think Dutchess is on kind of a county-wide or even a regional level. Okay. Working for the county, we have to be careful not to get too involved in certain.
Can't play favorites.
Can't play favorites. Yes. There's a lot of towns.
Millerton's out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things happening around the county.
Beacon, Dutchess County.
Yeah.
Well, that's stiff competition.
I know. That's all right. We'll get there. So I had to kind of personally be careful with where I was allocating a lot of my time, but Poughkeepsie's become my home. And it's not where I'm from, but it's where I am now, and it's where I'm going. Right. So I've always just been kind of looking around, like, well, what's new? What's the gap? Like, what's the market gap? What's not happening here? Right. That I can help make happen? What are we missing?
I ask myself that far too much. I'm just like, oh, this would be perfect. Like, there's that building across from the parking lot at the walkway. It says for lease now. It looks like something like that.
Oh yeah.
It's like a
58. Residential commercial development one day.
Okay.
No, at least that's just my idea. That's just.
I was thinking like an indoor flea market would be cool there.
You know, they tried like an indoor farmers market there a few years ago, from what I hear, and it just didn't launch too well. But you know, just like a lot of buildings in the area, you know, there's great bones, you know, but they need a lot of cleanup. You know, they need a lot of help, and you know, real estate's a struggle.
Yeah,
you know, it's
I mean,
it's a big investment.
Oh, definitely. And I think hopefully something I'd like to get more into. I built a lot of this place from scratch, and me and my dad always talked about it. I blame HGTV, really. I mean, there's probably a lot of people going broke out there, just taking a stab at it and being like, I guess I can't do this.
One of my next endeavors, what I'd love to be able to do one day, is buy like a multifamily in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
With maybe some retail on the bottom floor, apartments up top.
So many people doing this right now.
And, you know, find something good. I mean, there's a couple of them right down the road in Mount Carmel Place that I've been looking at for a while
adjacent
now.
to Essie's, that whole block?
Yeah.
Was that Delafield's? Was that the name of that restaurant?
Delafield's is the one that's kind of on that corner that looks like Times Square a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's a Belmonte Auto Parts store that's been for sale for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to get my hands on that. Yeah, the building's been for sale for a while.
Who doesn't want one of those little mini bikes? They're not hot right now?
Well,
the place we're talking about has a bunch of those pit bike little 50cc motorcycles in the window.
Well, the business owner himself is looking to, you know, get out of it. And he owns the building too. You know, so it's kind of like one of those deals where
got some heavy hitters adjacent to you. You got Essie's right there, La Deliciosa. I'm not too familiar with a hair salon, but it looks nice.
It does. It does. Essie's has got a great story. You know, you definitely know Brandon.
I'm so happy he's buddied up with me, and he's been an inspiration since I opened this place. I never did the food service industry. I've been all retail my entire life, and then I only really ever imagined the front of the house portion here. And like, I knew that from working Starbucks, but when I took this place on and I knew I had to do some sort of food to back it up, like Starbucks has the microwave versions of what you would hope a breakfast sandwich would be. But now we can give that to you for real. Compliments on all this stuff. But so him opening it up at the same time, where we were just kind of like both, you know, pushing each other and be like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's doing good. You know, we're doing good. So
you know, it's great. We need more, you know, more risk takers like you guys, you know, around here. And you know, we are very fortunate being so close to the culinary that you do see a lot of chefs like Brandon that graduated. I met Brandon about 2 years ago at a chamber networking event, and you know, he said to me that you know, I've got this hospitality company. I want to do a restaurant in Poughkeepsie. I don't know where I want to do it. Right. And I was just like, well, I was like, have you looked at Mount Carmel before? It's like a cool little market there. I live in this apartment building. There's like 15, 16 units there, so you've got like a built-in market right in the neighborhood.
Right.
There's
and
the old firehouse
walking traffic
the
to the walkway, all those
we're
signs
part of the walkway loop
right there. Yeah.
And so, you know, I was talking to him one day and I was like, oh dude, I've got a roof deck on my apartment complex. We should do like a pop-up restaurant up there.
He was the one who did that.
He was the one who did that.
Oh shit.
So 2 years ago that summer, we did a pop-up restaurant on our roof deck. We had almost 30 people
so
there.
regretful I missed that.
I know.
I was living there.
Man. We didn't really know each other too well.
No, I was invited.
I put flyers all over the place.
I was invited. I was well aware, and I was like, I gotta go do something else.
So, I mean, he literally had like a test market in front of him. Like all those people that were there that day were going to be frequenting his establishment. And 6 months later, he signed a lease where he is right now on Mount Carmel Place. Yeah. So, I'd love to get a handful more of those. You know, you do have the old Delafield's restaurant that's available.
Delafield's. I hear Spanky's is coming around. Right now, I met an individual who's starting to clean it out and trying to do a similar kind of concept, new American cuisine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited.
Awesome. The old Andy's place flipped. So
somebody's in there now?
Yeah.
Thank God.
I don't know if it's public knowledge yet, so I can't quite talk about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a farm to table restaurant.
That's cool.
You know, but it's going to be, you know, a nice place that you can go to every day. It's going to be in a good price bracket.
I like
it's
that.
Gonna have great food.
Yeah, there's so much infrastructure here, and there's so much going for the city. You know, the metro in its initial location right now is everything to, I think, a city. I grew up in the country. Moving to like the middle of the city, it's kind of weird for me to be like, oh, I need some eggs. I can literally just go get them, or anything. If from Dimpy's, or if I want to go out to eat, we can walk up the street or take a walk on the walkway. All sorts of stuff. It's awesome.
It's great. You know, like you, growing up in the middle of nowhere, you know, as soon as I got my driver's license, you know, bam, like I was gone. I was out of there. You know, there was nothing to do around me. other than stare at the cows.
Yeah.
But now it's great. So much is within a 5-minute walking distance of where I am.
It's crazy.
It's hard to imagine living anywhere else.
Right.
There's just so many great things going on around here. You've got a lot of medium to high end housing, apartments and condos coming up.
More common, yeah.
It's just incredible. I mean, you just drive around the city and you see all the cranes.
Did you see the rendering
for
for the other side of Shadows? I don't know what the property's called. I know they talk about it often.
Yeah,
but,
it's the old De La Val site.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I just saw some the pavilion or the amphitheater concept.
It's pretty cool.
Promenade.
The promenade. He can. That's the Benora family that owns that property. Same owners of Shadows and Poughkeepsie Grand and the Grandview. They could put apartments there. They could put an office building there, but they've chosen to propose something that's kind of like a mixed private
mixed
public use.
Yeah.
So half of the property is going to be a park. They want to build an amphitheater there.
It looks awesome.
They want to build the promenade. There's a lot of exciting things going on down there.
It probably takes a little bit off the city's table too, because I know they put a lot of those concepts into the Warriors waterfront development strategy, and if they can have somebody else kind of knock that off, they're like, well, absolutely.
It's good. The Benoras have been really good community partners. They've spent a lot of money cleaning up those sites over the years, and it's nice to see something rising from those ashes.
Yeah, a lot of that. And the other side, past the boathouse, I'm excited for the whole, scenic Hudson, Poughkeepsie waterfront redevelopment strategy pieces are all pretty amazing.
Yeah, the idea is to actually create a connective green trail, a greenway trail all the way up and down the Hudson from New York City to Albany. So it has to happen in pieces, and every community has to do their part.
Come on, guys, get it together. But I don't know how to transition that to First Friday, but. So much success from those. It was 4. We did 4 last year total, August through November.
Yeah,
you said?
We've done 4 so far. The first one was like a generic street fair. The second one was an end of summer barbecue. Where we were doing pig roasts at Miro Square. In October, we brought it to Little Italy and did our own little San Gennaro. It was very successful. And then November, we did kind of like a Friendsgiving.
Right.
So it was,
chili cook-off.
Yeah, the chili cook-off was really cool. So the first year, we just kind of experimented with a few different themes and concepts and ideas. So we've kind of taken, done like an audit of everything we did last year. And now we're, planning out 2018. And,
so what's like the mission behind it? Is it just try to like showcase Poughkeepsie or try to give more people of a reason to come as here's a destination, or is it more for like
based event? We kind of looked at downtown Poughkeepsie and said, what can we do to bring more activity here? What can we do to bring more people to the establishments, show people from outside of Poughkeepsie as well as inside Poughkeepsie the beauty of downtown.
Right.
And so it's since morphed into kind of like a community movement. We've started looking at the success of downtown at Miro Square and saying, well, hey, why limit ourselves to just Miro Square? We can go to Mount Carmel. We can possibly even go to the north side, maybe something at Mansion Square Park or even College Hill Park, which is one of the unsung assets of the city. College Hill Park is beautiful.
I don't think I've ever experienced that.
For anyone who's never been up there, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's the highest point of the city, and on a beautiful day,
good views.
You can see the entire city.
I think I've driven past the bottom side of it. But I never got up in there.
It's absolutely beautiful. There have been a few people here and there that have talked about possibly doing some sort of like a summer picnic up there or something along those lines. And I know the county is actually working on connecting the rail trail with College Hill Park at some point too, with some sort of just like a pedestrian connection there, with some signage to direct people.
That's
off
not the Falk Hill Connector.
That's a different
initiative,
project,
right?
Yeah, it's different.
So many projects.
It's there's a lot of different organizations doing connective projects in the city of Poughkeepsie, and it's just about kind of getting all of them streamlined.
What was the last one? We had Sarah Morelli on from Represent O Positive, and that was awesome last year. And to keep the connectivity of the city together, I think
we timed the August First Friday with the O Positive Festival
there?
And Legessa as well.
Awesome.
So we feel like that was a huge part of First Friday's success because people from the area already knew about O Positive from Kingston. It's been there, I think, 7 or 8 years now.
Oh, damn.
So to bring that, down to Poughkeepsie drew a lot of people to First Friday from the Kingston area.
Right.
So, we're looking to possibly do that again, this year. And, the murals that they put up on those buildings downtown are absolutely gorgeous.
Good caliber, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm excited for the Route 9 overpass, which will be piece of O Positive this year.
Yeah.
Did you do the same thing? Is it coordinated again this year as well, or is it just kind of fall?
I think it just kind of organically falls on that same weekend, but we're definitely
okay.
going to kind of do some co-marketing there.
That's cool.
Yeah, some great opportunities.
Yeah, Kingston, I think, is kind of at a same point in their development as well. They have kind of 2 different areas going for them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could say we do too, east and west. But have you been to the Smorgasbord?
I haven't, but I've heard a lot about it.
I've heard really good things.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to compare it to First Friday or anything like that, or. But it's not as like a regularly occurring event, is it?
It isn't, and they actually scaled back this year. I think they found
they went big.
Yeah, I think they found that they did it too much last year, and so they're scaling back this year. Not to take away from it, I heard it's a great event, and I know a lot of people who went.
Yeah,
it's a different focus. That's really. It's focused on food.
Right.
That's really it. What we're doing is like we're kind of like a community movement. We move people through running events.
Right.
We're not running events just to
incorporating galleries into First Friday showing stuff
exactly.
like that.
Food, music, art is kind of like First Friday's mantra. So every single month when we're looking at what theme can we do, what culture can we celebrate, this next month, and where can we celebrate it?
Right.
Those are things that we're always thinking about.
It's awesome.
So in 2018, we're looking at some really cool stuff. I don't want to give away too many details.
I was going to ask.
It's not final.
I don't want to prod too much.
But I can promote April. So April, we're doing kind of like a soft launch for 2018. And we're going to be hosting it out of Adrian's library.
Okay.
It's Books and Brews is kind of.
Where's that for the people?
Name. So that's on Market Street, just south of the just south of the eastbound arterial.
Okay.
So when you do the loop around the Civic Center,
right,
and you're headed back eastbound, you make your first right onto Market Street there,
right,
and it's down there on your left-hand side.
Okay. I think that might be the library we're going to. Kind of tucked back off the street a little bit. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Books and Brews is kind of, the name of that one. And, Mayor Rob Rollison is, his wife, Lori, is the one who really started First Friday a couple of years ago. And so we're trying to do a few things kind of in sync with some of his initiatives. And he reached the children.
Got a lot on the books this year.
I know.
We've been talking about the skate park, and he's been slowly just kind of like hit me with a couple of things. He's like, "This is what I'm going to do. Don't tell anybody."
So he reads the kids a lot at Adrian's. So,
awesome.
So we kind of looked at this as an opportunity.
We take my little man to the what do they call it, Toot and Scoot or something like that.
Yeah.
I got a 1.5-year-old for the people of the internet, and it's everything you would imagine it to be. The terrible twos are a real problem. They're coming fast. But we bring him over there. He gets a bunch of books. We try not to let him tear the pages out. But between that, she's got friends that bring him over there. But awesome little spot.
Yeah, we're actually gonna be we're gonna have music on each of the floors of the library.
Oh,
it's gonna be very active. It's not gonna be like your typical library setting. It's not gonna be.
But it's gonna be more oriented in just that.
Correct. There's an educational component there. Right. Vassar College is going to be there with some of their exhibits. Poughkeepsie Then and Now is an exhibit by an artist named Michael Asbel.
Okay.
He's going to be there, presenting his exhibit as well, and kind of connecting people to Poughkeepsie's past and its present. So that's really unique. And like I mentioned, we're going to have music on every floor. We're going to have a DJ out on the street in front of the library. There's also going to be beer sampling up on the 3rd floor. Which is really unique. A lot of people are like, why are you sampling beer in a library?
Can you tell us whose beer is going to be?
We can't say yet.
Okay.
But it's going to be a lot of good local breweries.
All right.
I think you guys know who it is.
Okay.
Everybody who's from Poughkeepsie, you know whose beer.
There's only a handful out there, but they're all good.
There's a few new ones coming.
I know.
I don't know if you saw the announcement.
I did. They finally named it. What was it? Lionheart?
King's Court.
King's Court. Wow.
So King's Court Brewery is going to be at the old King's Court Hotel.
That was the name of the hotel.
Which is now 40 Cannon.
And Lori's managing that, too.
She's
doing a great job.
She is.
Shout out to you, Lori. Killing it. Killing it in the game here. But yeah, exciting times. Cannon Street's coming around. I just talked to some of the guys over at Baxter about the corner of, was that Market and the Arterial? And it's a big vacant building next to Club 33. I've daydreamed about that building for so long.
It's the old Department of Labor building. My mother actually used to work there.
Oh, really?
When the DOL was there.
It looks like it's got some animal decals on the side windows. Was it ever a pet store?
No.
No? Yeah. So I got some extra dog logos.
It wasn't, but it is. I've been. The last time I was in that building was probably the early 2000s, maybe even late 90s.
Yeah.
When my mom worked there, but it's a cool building. It has prominence. Like you come around the street
can't
on
not
the
look at
Arterial,
it.
and it's just like it's begging for something.
It could be huge. It could be huge.
It's cool, but yeah, I'd heard that rumor that that they were contracted on that property.
I don't think they have anything official kind of in
Yeah.
the property or like concepts yet. I threw something at him. I told him he could have the idea if he wanted it, but I always pictured the cool indoor sports, not like sports, but cornhole, bocce. I traveled a lot for Zoomies, and we would go to these places that had these indoor kind of activities. And I was thinking it'd be cool if you did like the concept's called Paulie's Yard Bar. Somebody out there can just have this. This is free for you guys. But a very family-friendly kind of place, because I feel like the problem we have, again, the 1.5-year-old, we don't really, there's not many places I can think of to be like, this is a cool place I can bring my kid. Like, we love Shotzi's, but it's not very, kid-friendly. Milo's is great. We get in there pretty well. Brandon's been awesome, but I just feel like I don't want to ruin other people's experience with a toddler in a really nice restaurant that everybody else is really trying to enjoy.
Sure. Like pubs used to be community meeting places.
Right.
Like that's where all the families went, before there were halls, like community halls.
Yeah.
So like you look at the concept that say like Newburgh Brewing Company has,
Good.
large open space.
Yeah. I was living in Newburgh when they opened.
Oh, cool. So they
awesome.
have movable, large picnic tables that inhabit the space, but
and cornhole.
It's an event venue. There's cornhole there. There's several dart boards. There's a lot of room in there for activities.
Right.
And so I do feel like Poughkeepsie, needs something like that.
Yeah.
Something that's kind of flexible space. That's kind of high end, modern industrial sort of look.
Right.
That building could be it.
Could be. Maybe the old Bull and Buddha. I never had the pleasure of that, but I hear great things about it, or at least stories from my wife.
I might have been there when it was a nightclub.
Yeah, may or may not.
I may or may not.
I used to go to Albany. We had this place called Jillian's. It was 4 floors, and I don't know why you needed that large of a place.
Yeah.
I mean, Albany's got a lot. I mean, there's so many other places you could go to.
Bull and Buddha, I mean, as a restaurant on the first floor is really cool. The food was good. Second floor was Orient Lounge. that was like the nightclub.
Right.
But when you go on the first floor past Bull and Buddha and you go in the back, it was almost like had like a 1950s like Rat Pack vibe to it.
Ooh.
It had like these elevated booths with leather, with leather wrapping.
Nice.
Had like a very small, intimate, like elevated stage where like maybe 1 or 2 singers up there with a couple of backgrounds.
Nice.
It was very intimate. It was really cool, and it's a shame they just kind of like shut the lights off one day and
we're done.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
But I was in the
Probably
building.
There's usually a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah, I was in the building last year touring with the broker who's handling the property, and it's incredible. You just look back there and everything's still there.
Yeah.
All the booths, the stage,
I can only hope
everything.
be able to
Somebody
get my
could
hands-
walk in there and just turn the lights back on, freshen the place up, and
Let's
it would
go.
be something.
No. I'll keep my hands on. Keep my eye open for it.
If only I had the capital, man.
I know. I'm waiting. Knock on some wood.
That's all right.
Knock on wood.
Sell some more coffee. You'll
We'll get there. Cup by cup.
You get
Speaking
there.
of, would you like some more?
Yeah, it sounds good.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Cheers.
I'm feeling illuminated.
Ah, yes. My mind is awake. A fine Colombian, fair trade organic, with notes of caramel.
I'll try not to throw out too many puns during this podcast.
No, we're all about puns. Big puns. Like rappers, we can come with some music. There you go.
That's good. I like background.
A little Jay-Z for you.
Dude, anything 90s.
Oh, that's all I'm all about. So we had Mike Bennett, one of our Poughkeepsie Police Department. He's great at production. He's been throwing a bunch of the stuff he's been working on at us.
Okay.
And I told him, he was like, I want to just do something. Let me do your intro music. So I was like, okay, this is what we're kind of going for. And he threw like a techno thing out there. I was like, that's not really it. We want more like Jay-Z circa 2000. So I'm like, I gave him a couple albums, and he
Yeah.
came back with the intro music, which actually is pretty mellow. And I think he like listened to it, and he's like, yeah, I was really inspired. But he's thrown out a rap beat, this pop beat, really good production, really amazing. He's doing some good stuff. I
feel like we should have like a bottle of like Herbassier next to us or something.
Yeah, right.
Like that's smooth. That's like
some Hennessy.
yeah.
That's Poughkeepsie for you.
Now you're tuning in to Illuminated Live.
Welcome. But yeah, I'm really excited for First Friday this year. Every month's on my calendar, aside from, and then also the waterfront market from the Children's Museum.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
That's cool.
hopefully we can get some more traction with that this year. Just submitted all my paperwork for that. I don't know. Is Think Dutchess directly involved with the Cup of the Valley? Is that you guys?
No, it's not us.
No, it's the CIA.
Must be.
I know. Who is it? It's the Rotary Club of
Okay.
Wappingers Falls. I know. Mary Kay she sold me on it immediately. She's like, you got to do this. I was like, okay. If you say
Yeah,
so.
just pretty much listen to anything Mary Kay Verba says.
I do. She comes in. She's like, have you heard about this? You should know. And I'm like, all right. I know now.
Yep. Just nod and say yes.
Yeah.
She will guide you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. This one's for you.
Cheers.
But yeah, it seems like you guys, I mean, this is a piece you brought from Think Dutchess, just changing, I guess, your impact. Are you guys do a lot of online? Is it mostly your media put out through internet channels at this point?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as our programming goes, we basically have, two missions. It's to, attract new businesses and talent to the area, which is my primary job. But, we also do a lot of work with the businesses and companies that are already here.
Yeah.
We look at them, as you guys, as our greatest asset to telling a story to convince other companies to relocate or expand here. And that's pretty much that's what this magazine does. There's articles in here about technology, food and beverage. The ag industry that we have here is our fastest growing industry.
Yeah.
There's features in here everywhere from, small businesses, like brewery startups, all the way up to, IBM, who has, been here since the 40s.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a real nod to
It looks
the
awesome.
assets that we have here.
And it's a very readable. I mean, as far as the completion goes, I was talking about this before we got the podcast started, but I always like a good magazine that I can pick up and I'm not immediately overwhelmed with advertisements that has content, because that's what it's all about. And if you're really trying to push, a business or reasons for people to come here, you got to give them content, not just advertisements, I think, So
It's cool. There's a lot of good community leader profiles in there too.
It's cool. I saw one about Beacon. I didn't see the IBM piece, but really well put together. I'm excited. You're doing a lot more of this year, you said, right?
Yeah. We really kind of ramped up our social media efforts a lot too. In terms of helping businesses grow and business attraction, social media really doesn't typically attract a lot of businesses to the area. But what it does do is that it helps change the perception of a lot of people who live here and don't know about a lot of the great things that are happening. There's a feature in here. There's a company named FCO that's in Poughkeepsie. They make the fillings for donuts, pies, things along those lines.
I saw that. I think I read that.
They make all the fillings for Dunkin' Donuts.
That was it.
Bavarian cream and jelly donuts. Pretty much on the East Coast.
The Boston cream?
Yeah, Boston cream, Bavarian cream.
Well, I've supported many of that company then.
That company is, they just make the fillings, and they're based in Poughkeepsie. Who knew?
Right.
There's a lot of really cool things going on around here. Crown maple syrup. Everybody knows Crown maple.
I looked into them when I opened this place, but it's like, I just don't think I can afford it just yet. So
they're the world's second largest maple syrup producer.
It's good. They got this bourbon.
And they're out in Dover.
Get yourself some bourbon barrel maple syrup, Crown Maple,
man.
Or maybe I'll get some here at the coffee shop if you guys are willing to pay like $3 an ounce for it at retail. I guess it's
check out my Instagram. Last week I posted a photo of I made breakfast for dinner at my house one Saturday, and I had Crown Maple pancakes with Crown Maple bourbon barrel aged maple syrup.
Nice.
As well as Italian sausages chopped up with onions and home fries, topped with Horseshoe brand hot sauce that was made with Crown Maple syrup. Is that also
syrup. Made by Crown Maple?
No, Horseshoe is a different brand, but they're in Dutchess County as well. They're up in Milan.
Okay,
so you have two local companies that
Milo's
that
uses them
project.
up at Jeremy's spot.
So it was just a complete Dutchess County plate there, and I'm like looking at it thinking, Dutchess County, Dutchess County. Oh my God, it's amazing, man. Amazing. Once you try good maple syrup, like
Yeah.
you just can't go back to the store bought stuff. It just doesn't taste the same.
We've got some great stuff from Vermont we use here. My distributor, he's like, no, you people don't want that. And I was like, they need it. We that's kind of going to be our thing. So we wanted to make sure we had some premium stuff.
Yep. Some things you just can't skimp on.
I know a few guys up in the Adirondacks that have some adjacent property to some camp, to a camp we own. And I was trying to work out a deal with him, but I don't think he produced on the scale that I need. And he's getting old, so I'm like, I'm sorry.
Crown Maple's where it's at. We're actually, I'm having a fundraiser up there in May.
Oh, cool.
For I'm in the Leadership Dutchess class this year, which is a program that's put on by the Chamber Foundation.
Nice.
And it's a 9-month leadership program. We meet on a monthly basis, full day classes on everything from communications, public speaking, learning how to, be good board members and locate charities and organizations that need committee members and need board members. And it's part of our project every year that we do a fundraiser. And so May 5th, we are doing a Cirque-themed masquerade ball up at Crown Maple. So if you guys want to check it out, cirque29.com. Tickets go on sale next week.
All right.
We've got an Instagram page too, so you can check out some photos, kind of tease the event a little bit. It's all about marketing and branding.
It's all about it.
So it's really neat. We're gonna have a fire breather. We're gonna have.
Oh, you had me at fire breather.
That's all I gotta say. I gotta write that down. I'm just gonna stop at fire breather.
Fire breather.
We're gonna have a fire breather. We're gonna have an illusionist. We're gonna have some magicians there as well.
Nice.
Possibly maybe some belly dancers and a few other performances as well. Some of it's still not it's not quite written in stone yet, but
right.
Bottom line is that it's going to be an exciting event. It goes to a good cause. The Chamber Foundation provides student scholarships for underprivileged youth in the area.
Nice, man.
So it's a really great cause, and
More of that.
We're shooting to raise $29,500. We are the 29th.
29,000.
That's 29,500. We are the 29th Leadership Dutchess class. One of our classmates, his twins were born on the 29th of November.
Okay.
So we saw all these 29s, and we were like, we can't ignore these coincidences.
Many lotto tickets were bought.
So that's why we named the event Cirque 29 Masquerade.
All right.
So it's cool. It's all coming together.
I need to get more of these. Like, I need a babysitter. That's what it really comes down to, I think. We still haven't quite mastered that yet because there's so much I want to do. The mayor's been pushing his St. Patrick's Day event coming up next weekend. Mm-hmm. I'll plug that for you, Mayor. Next Saturday, I think, the 10th. It's March 10th. Down at Mahoney's, he's doing a great fundraiser. And then there's Patty on the River, which I think is the 9th, the day before.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for all those things. I'm a little Irish myself, so I'm partial to, I don't know why we celebrate that here. Apparently in Ireland, it's not that big of a deal.
No, they laugh at us.
Yeah.
But it's
you can drink any day, guys, right?
Yeah.
But it's awesome. But I want to talk about the Hudson Valley Young Professionals.
Sure.
I like to consider myself a professional. I don't know if I fall into the realm of young anymore.
You're younger than I am.
I think I hit middle age, though.
You get at the group.
All right. I'm adjacent, young adjacent. All right.
Young adjacent?
Yeah.
We'll have to keep that in mind with our messaging.
Young adjacent, Hudson Valley. No.
Like
but what's this all about? I mean, what is it? What are you guys trying to encourage, or is it about just kind of bringing in the young people that are aspiring to be part of the professional community, or how do you?
It is. It's it's a social group. It's an educational group. It's a professional development group. There's kind of a lot of realms that we fall under. I mean, typically we do get a lot of young entrepreneurs. We do get a lot of
great networking opportunity for them.
It is. We're all just about connecting people.
Right.
And, traditionally a lot of our events were focused on, just making business connections. Mm-hmm. And so we're kind of we're evolving, we're enhancing, some of our mission a little bit. Live, give, work, play, and stay in the Hudson Valley is our slogan. So we're focusing a lot more on creating social bonds between people in the group. you know, it kind of got a little stagnant for a little while. It was just strictly business, you know,
Right.
and so we kind of lost the social side of business a little bit.
Okay.
And so, you know, it's a it's a group. We have over 1,000 members right now.
Damn.
Good active membership. The website is hvyp.org. You know, if you live in Dutchess County,
Gotta love a good short URL, man.
I know, priceless. If you live in Dutchess County, if you're a young professional, any kind, doesn't matter, white collar, blue collar, government, nonprofit, for profit. It's a great group. You know, we've got we do networking events that are atypical. You know, we don't just kind of like go to a bar and a restaurant and
Mixers.
do these mixers, and those provide value too.
Yeah.
But like in April, we're doing a.
I saw you did the bowling thing.
We just had that last weekend.
Right.
It was awesome. You know, we filled up 40 lanes of a bowling alley for
Damn.
a fundraiser, and we probably raised around, I think it was more than $5,000.
Man, you nice with the fundraising. We should talk.
I'm getting
The
there.
skate park needs you down.
I'm still new to it, but we'll get around to that in a little bit. But so we do 2 fundraisers every year. We do the bowling tournament down at Fishkill Bowl that was very successful this year.
Cool.
We also do a kickball tournament. The first year we did it at Casper Kill in Poughkeepsie. This past September we did it down at Memorial Park in Beacon, which was another highly successful event. We're kind of going outside the box a little bit, doing some different things, and we've got a networking event coming up in April at the Gravity Vault, which is indoor rock climbing in Poughkeepsie.
Oh, nice. Is that's not the crunch spot, right? That's bounce.
It's behind it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you've got crunch and bounce in the front, and then in
Yeah.
the back you've got Gravity Vault.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool
You know,
spot.
I was voted most likely to become a professional kickball player at my last job,
Oh, dude.
but then I blew out both my knees.
I
so-
play professional kickball.
Really?
I do.
No way.
It's not professional.
But I do play kickball.
I do play in the Club Waka League.
I got a friend who's
Which is-
really nice at dodgeball.
Yeah?
He's like
Well,
Neo from the Matrix.
Club Waka has, around here, they've got kickball. They also do volleyball down at DC Sports in Wappingers.
Oh, cool.
So they do beach volleyball the spring and the summer. And they just started a
That's a
bowling
really
league.
cool spot. DC really
It
did a
is.
great job on that.
They
like,
did.
renovations.
Growing up around here, we always knew it as Fun Central. And,
Yeah.
that went out of business and it broke a lot of hearts.
Yeah.
A lot of parents were like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my kid?
Right.
Fun Central. But, DC Sports came around. They started at DC Indoor Golf right here in the city
Up by
of
the
Poughkeepsie.
chance, yeah.
They took that old building, rehabbed it. It's beautiful.
It seems like they're pretty busy. I tried to get in
They
there
are,
one
all
day,
the time.
and they're like, "No, we're booked."
You need reservations.
You need reservations.
That's great.
A way out too. Like not like I can't go next week, maybe, but
Yeah, it's very popular.
more
So,
golf
yeah.
this year. It's actually one thing I'm trying to do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm getting.
I
old.
consider myself a mini golf pro.
Mini golfer.
I'm a mini
that's
golf
how- That's
pro.
how we ended up at DC.
I'm highly competitive.
I've known to get a few hole-in-ones. You might have to take this to the courts. Poughkeepsie Grind versus Young Professionals. I like this.
Oh, we
Networking
could
event.
do something. This could be fun.
All right.
We'll set it up.
No, but
We'll
it's
turn it into a fundraiser.
Yes. We
Let's
did
pick-
have a pretty good
let's pick a
fundraiser.
cause.
We did the skate park art show here, which really
Okay.
kind of set the bar pretty high for in-store events here at the coffee shop because we raised a couple thousand. We had great artists. The turnout was awesome. It was literally me and Sarah just looking at each other, being like, "I hope this works." And then a ton of people came. It was a party. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping to do that again this year. We've got some art shows that'll coincide with the first Fridays. I think the April one will on this one. So hopefully we can send more people up to the library as they come and go from here.
How are things going with the skate park?
They're going good.
You guys raised a lot of money that day.
We raised a lot of money that day. We did a few other initiatives, I think, just from like donations from the immediate group of people, and some of the little things we've done at the park. We've had some success. We probably still got a good bankroll. We're just starting to talk about what we want to do with it now. I just opened up some lines of communication back with Rob at the city, and he's super passionate about keeping the momentum we had from last year. I just adopted it as the coffee shop. I think it just, for myself, it's something that I've always was passionate about. As my background is Zoomies, and it kind of works with my brand, the Poughkeepsie Grind, skateboards, grinds, coffee grounds, so many levels. But things are going good. It's consistently one of the busiest parts of the waterfront. Every time I'm down there talking to the kids, they're so excited about just keeping it alive, that they have that place to go back to. And comparatively to the other places, it's probably one of the most beautiful spots to skate. I don't know if I ever really talked about it much, but it's always been like, my happy place. You had a
It's
rough
inspirational.
day. Yeah, it's kind of like
You just go down to the waterfront. You look out on the river. You look to the right. You've got the walkway, which
Right.
is just it's an absolutely incredible wonder. Then you've got the Mid-Hudson Bridge to your left, and you've got the mountains across the way. It's unparalleled anywhere else in the region.
Yeah, I think it's kind of our dojo. You know, we go there, we get our aggression out, we practice, you know, a trick that we're working on or something like that. So it's kind of, for me, it's just kind of sacred ground, and I'm happy it's got back on its feet, and we were able to do what we did last year, and that the city is all about continuing the movement, and, you know, hopefully more people just keep working on it. I've got a core group of people I've been working with directly that have been a huge help. David, one of them, is kind of following my footsteps at Zoomies. He's a huge skateboarder, a big part of the network piece. My ear to the ground. Kyle, Mike, Cliff at Sacred and New Paltz. Okay. Sarah's been a huge help with the art community and kind of integrating with that. So we started talking with the mayor, and I think they're really excited about making some initial, you know, moves. I don't want to, you know, say too much about what we've talked about, but, you know, we're going in a great direction, and I think if we could get the same people that were interested from last year, a few big names came up that were interested in putting money towards revitalization or complete remodeling. I think that's where we need to start kind of discussing and planning our year around that end game, because we want to capitalize on Go Skate Day this year, which is right in the middle of summer. I think it's July 22nd, and just continue to do that, keep it clean, and keep it alive.
Do you think there's a good market out there for, you know, some sort of like a competition or a tournament or something like that? I don't know the industry very well.
Yeah.
But, you know, anything that brings people down to the waterfront helps them discover the area.
Absolutely.
It's a win.
I think we're going to try to go more in a community engagement direction.
Okay.
Not so much people that already skateboard, but to the kids that want to try to skateboard or might not be able to. I've been working with Danny from the Boys and Girls Club here in Poughkeepsie, and he works with him and Cliff at Shred Shop, have Shred Foundation, who've been taking kids up to Hunter Mountain, teaching them how to snowboard and giving them the opportunity that they might not have had to do that. And we want to try to maybe work together with him, piggyback on his concept, and try to hit maybe the kids at Rip Van Winkle, give them the opportunity to come and get a skateboard. So we're kind of starting to brainstorm about, you know, what kind of hardware we need, what, you know, lines of communication, liabilities, et cetera, might be involved to try to keep that. That's
cool. We definitely need to, you know, attract some more recreational opportunities, you know, to Poughkeepsie. I feel like that's one thing that we could definitely, there's a gap there.
Yeah, and it's cool to see so much diversity here, and the so much stuff. Like you were saying, the volleyball, DC indoor sports. I've seen more active basketball courts here than I probably have in any place I've ever lived in my life. And it's like the pickup games every weekend, every day, all summer. That spot right by your place.
Sure.
Crazy busy.
Even in the wintertime, as soon as the snow melts, like there's kids
out there. Every day. So I think as the shop, we want to try to keep doing what we're doing with the skate park, and also start targeting basketball courts, because Rashawn's passionate about basketball, football, and trying to, you know, give some of that back. And I brought it up to Rob again. He's like, oh, well, I think the basketball coach from the high school is actually trying to re-engage some stuff like that. Like,
oh, cool.
We were thinking about, was it Malcolm X basketball park there? I think it's like the one park actually still owned by the school. But I don't know, people, it keeps coming up as like the most, you know, disrepaired basketball court or something like that. So we're hoping to do something like that. Keep giving more places to do. That basketball court over off the Arterial is super legit in the summertime with like their summer leagues. They got the like scoreboard up and everything. Yeah, it's legit. So I'd like to get down there and kind of see what their operation looks like or how they organize it.
Sure, it's exciting even just as a tourist. You know, walking by there, you just see the crowd of the people, and you can just hang out there and just watch them. For 5-10 minutes, whatever it is. It's you know, that park is an attraction in itself.
Yeah, I've snowboarded there a few times. It's awesome.
Oh, cool.
It's great. Got that courtyard kind of vibe to it. It's awesome. But yeah, I'm excited for more Poughkeepsie, hopefully the momentum keeps going. I mean, like, you've only been here for, 4 years yourself? Would you say it's only just recently kind of gotten this momentum that you've seen over the past couple of years, or has it been here the whole time? Or
I would say
no one just branded it.
I would say even in just the last year or two. I mean, there are a lot of factors that are kind of out of our local control. There's national economy. There's New York State federal taxes. Like there's a lot of things that are kind of out of our control here. But I think what we've seen in the past, even just 2 years, is we've seen a lot of interest from outside developers, outside investors. They're looking for buildings that might need a little bit of rehab. They're looking for opportunities to build apartments. People want to live downtown now. Even 10 years ago, it really wasn't a popular thing, but that trend just continues to grow. So you look at where Cold Spring went a long time ago. You look where Beacon went. It took Beacon 15 years to get to where it is now.
Right.
Poughkeepsie's probably in that first 5 years of that cycle.
Yeah.
You give us another 5 years. I mean, look at all the redevelopment that's happening. There's a lot of rezoning of a lot of buildings downtown that have traditionally been office buildings that are very hard to fill these days.
Right.
A lot of entrepreneurs are not taking
It's
office space. The tech environment, the tech industry is changing the landscape of real estate, and so there's a less need for office space. So what do you do with all this office space?
Coffee shops.
Coffee shops.
Free Wi-Fi, baby. Looking at you, coder. Come on down.
So we've had interest from from tech companies that are looking to kind of get up out of Westchester or out of town. We had a couple of tech companies interested in the Indotronics building. The timing wasn't quite right for them, but they were kind of excited once we got them up here.
It's raw. It's industrial.
Yeah, to see what's going on down here. They like it. You look at Main Street, you see what Hudson River Housing is doing on the other side of Maine with the Poughkeepsie Underwear Factory.
That is so beautiful.
It's exciting. It's a gorgeous building, gorgeous redevelopment. Kudos to Hudson River Housing. It was an awesome job.
Whoops, no. Hudson River Housing, that one's for you.
They've got North River Roasters.
So good.
Good community roaster like yourself.
Absolutely.
On the bottom floor. Fezza's awesome.
Great guy. He helped me get started.
Yeah, you've got Earth, Wind, and Fuego is a cafe that's there now. So they got lunch that they're doing. They've got the Artifact upstairs, which used to be Mill Street Loft and Spark Media.
Spark Media, yeah.
So they've got some commercial tenants up there. There's a lot of activity.
Did they end up filling those? Are all the apartments spoken for? They had a pretty good.
I think they had a good response. I think most of them are full. I'm not too sure off the top of my head, but it's becoming a community meeting place. When I bring investors here, from out of town, I'm bringing them to places like the Underwear Factory.
Yeah.
I'm bringing them to places like Millhouse Brewery. Potential.
Yeah.
P-O-U-G-H.
This is what you could do.
Potential.
And
we throw that P-O-U-G-H, potential at them, and they kind of go, A lot of people say, oh, that's really cheesy. Is that going to catch on? Well,
it already has.
It already has. I don't know who officially started it. I saw it pop up maybe a year and a half ago on Facebook.
Who is it? Emma Flynn used to work here, and she
she used to use it a lot.
I think if I remember her mentioning it right, it was something somebody came up with at like a Vassar project or something like that, and it just kind of took off from there. Somebody took it and ran with it.
It's stuck.
Yeah,
it's stuck. It's we're seeing a lot of interest. We've had a couple of tech incubators from New York City that are looking for new markets, new environments to foster and facilitate this sort of collaborative atmosphere.
Yeah,
we've had a couple of them come up this way, and there's a lot of big money behind some of these tech incubators. Google, Microsoft, IBM, a lot of them fund these small incubators around the country.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
So if we could, get one of those here, it'll just be a huge catalyst. So we're getting there. We're seeing the interest. It's really exciting. Hudson Valley Tech Meetup. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Nope.
But they were an organization. They're probably about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years old at this point, maybe a little older. They started in Kingston. New York City Tech Meetup has 50,000 plus members, and they get together at NYU every month, and there's thousands of people that pack the auditorium, and they do pitches for apps that are being developed. They talk about new and emerging technologies and how they could integrate that into like a community social benefit. And so a handful of people from the Hudson Valley who spent a lot of time traveling to and from New York City for work said, well, why can't we do this in the Hudson Valley? And so they started it in Kingston, and it's made its way over to Poughkeepsie, and that's something I think Dutchess is trying to get behind, trying to help them kind of build up their Poughkeepsie contingent a little bit. So I think
maybe there. I mean, now that you say that, I am trying to think of like a tech element outside of IBM, but I can't really think of anything that's.
There are a lot of entrepreneurs, there are a lot of app developers, programmers.
I get a lot of people that
designers,
come through.
Anywhere in that creative tech realm. Could be videographers, drone operators, anyone who's using technology to be creative, should really check this group out. It's hvtechmeetup.org. These guys are really creative. They bring in a lot of heavy hitters. Last year, they brought in someone from Lyft to talk about ride sharing and how it's going to change the region and the state.
The whole ride sharing thing took over here.
They brought in Dennis Crowley, the guy who started Foursquare.
Oh wow,
he's like the godfather of social media.
I was talking about him recently.
He lives in the Hudson Valley, and so the Tech Meetup Meetup had him as a guest speaker. Like, that's awesome. These are the kind of real high profile people that they bring in to speak at
Foursquare
their events.
Just rebranded, right? After something like that?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
They made a big announcement over the summer that they're looking to possibly hire some people in the Hudson Valley and start a location here in the Hudson Valley.
That's it.
So, everybody's going after them, but we'll see.
Come on, man. Come on.
Poughkeepsie.
We got waterfronts.
Potential.
Yeah. Man.
So it's cool. I mean, we can go,
all day, but it's exciting times, and hopefully this podcast is just trying to be a part of the catalyst, a soapbox for much more people like yourselves, like Brandon, like Sarah, to just kind of put everything out there, let people know what's going on. First Fridays, I'm so excited.
The more events that we get to the area, the better. I mean, that's really what's going to people to come. That's what's going to drive all this interest. You've had over the summer, this is going to be the 4th year of the Dragon Boat races.
Yes.
This is going to be.
I think that might be Mary Kay's favorite thing.
It might be. It might be. So last year, Habitat for Humanity actually, took it over as the main operator. That's
big names.
Yeah, it's another committee I'm sitting on this year.
Damn, man.
It's on their marketing committee. But I've had a team for the last 3 years, and I've seen it grow, and just like you have a passion for something, and you want to incubate it. You want to see it grow into something exciting.
Right.
And so, I've just the past few years, I just haven't quite had the bandwidth to jump on board.
Yeah, I hope you have some
everything.
you time done.
And it's it's funny you mentioned that, because a lot of my friends make fun of me for this, but I take the last week of every month off of meetings. No committee meetings. I mean, obviously I have to work. I got my 9 to 5. I can't. Working for the county, working for the people. I can't take off.
Still got to pay that rent.
When 5, 6 o'clock comes around, I go home the last week of the month, and that's my me time. That's my recharge, my re-energized time.
I've been trying to schedule a day for my wife and I, so she gets a day, I get a day, and we can do whatever we want. We're going to do this. She can say, okay, this is what we're going to do for that day.
It's good. It's healthy.
It takes up a ton. I mean, between the shop, the skate park, trying to organize all the events.
Get one of those running strollers for the baby.
We have a jogger.
Get a jogger.
Yeah.
Hit the walkway.
We're finally ready for some weather where we can do so.
I know.
Today was a setback.
I know. Running in the gym and working out in the gym is not the same. It's just doesn't have the atmosphere. But there's something about being out on the walkway on a nice day. It's just hits you. It's a rush.
Is it the world's longest elevated pedestrian walkway?
At 1.2 miles. Yes, it is.
1.2.
1.2.
Come on down. P is for Poughkeepsie. I'm on my childhood stuff. But anything else, man? Is there anything else you want to plug or remind people?
Oh no, this has been a great conversation, man.
It's been awesome, man.
It's really great. I love what you guys have been doing here.
Thanks, man.
Your sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant with salt, pepper, and ketchup is my go-to every single time I come here.
Classics never go out of style.
It's good. So
I mean, all I really ever wanted to do was just serve my favorite stuff, like bacon, egg, and cheeses with hash browns. And then I was like, maybe people want avocado on there or something like that.
Yeah.
Give them options.
And, slowly but surely, I keep bringing some local brands to you.
Yeah.
The hot sauce and the breads and, we'll get there.
Well, yeah, the hot sauce bar is on my hit list.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people love their particular hot sauce. So, and then Horseshoe brand coming into the thing. So hopefully we can grow to incorporate a lot more of that. We had a great PFP connection when we were getting going, but, they grew, we grew. So we kind of fell apart or went our separate ways. We've been working on trying to bring that back into part of the equation for this summer and try to get our produce back from them. So, but
cool.
More things Poughkeepsie. I'm excited for getting out to more First Friday events with you. I tip my hat to you, man, for your community skills.
There's so many people that are doing so much more than I am.
I know.
Listen. It's I'll be honest with you. Through my teen years and even much of my 20s, I really wasn't engaged in this sort of activity. I wasn't.
Right.
It's not like I was doing bad things, but I just wasn't. I wasn't optimizing my time for the benefit of the community around me too much. And
yeah, well,
it really wasn't until like my late 20s. I just kind of I don't know. I just kind of woke up and just like, what, like I should be using my energies, for other things. And I've been playing sports and running and doing Spartan races and stuff like that most of my life. And so I came across Sparrow's Nest, and they're a great organization that helps feed.
Yeah, real quick, talk about some Sparrow's Nest action.
Yeah,
and running.
You like how I'm working in these plugs? You killed it,
all
man.
good.
It was organic. It was organic, and you were like, you're like, plug this organization.
I'm a salesman. What can I say?
So I came across
this great organization.
Yeah,
how about that?
So Sparrow's Nest of the Hudson Valley is they're a good organization. They're based down in East Fishkill, but they're regional. They help feed. They help provide meals for families battling cancer diagnosis. It's something that's I'm gonna get a little choked up.
We had the pleasure of supporting you guys a few times. We had some fundraisers for a lot of the joggers and stuff like that. But yeah, like you're saying, tell us a little bit more about what you guys do.
So it's a very unique fundraising concept that they have. They do have a lot of corporate events, like a lot of other nonprofits in the area. But something that's really unique is they have what they call destination runs. So you sign up to they give you a few different options. You could run the Disney half marathon, the Rock and Roll half marathon in Las Vegas. New Orleans half marathon is actually this weekend. Shout out to all of those who are down in New Orleans right now. Some of them might actually be watching.
What's up?
So, basically you fundraise on behalf of the charity. You run your own, fundraising events. Like I do a Yankee trip every year where I fill a busload of people, go down to a Yankee game, have, food and drinks on the bus and stuff like that, do some 50-50, raise money that way. Like I did yoga on the rooftop last summer, which was
Sign
really
me up
cool.
this year.
Well, this year I'm not doing rooftop, but on
Waterfront?
March 13th, the new Hudson Valley Healing Center? It's the Salt Cave. That's over at Van Wagner Place.
Yes, I saw that.
So I'm doing my yoga there. So it's March 13th. It's coming up in a week and a half.
Okay.
So it's a great charity. So you sign up for these runs, and you have an entire year to raise a certain amount based on how many races you want to do, and then they send you to that race. You cover your airfare. You cover your own expenses, but
right.
you're doing it for the charity, and you're running for those who can't. That's their slogan. For me personally, I've lost 3 uncles and a grandfather to colon cancer, and so just thinking about the struggles that my cousins and my father went through.
A lot of people
during those times. It's something that kind of hits you hard, and I kind of forgot about a lot of it over the years because it was a long time ago when all that was happening.
Right.
But once I started hearing the stories of a lot of the people that are recipients of Sparrow's meals, and kind of they help a lot of kids, a lot of families with kids with cancer, and it hits you. It just kind of makes you,
I mean, a lot of that's so debilitating on so many levels.
It is.
You would think that it's just like a physical thing, but it's not just that person. It's a group.
Something as simple as cooking meals on a day-to-day basis become an arduous task.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I see it from just even here every day. The opportunity to just feed some people, make them happy, changes everything.
It is. You look at like the underwear factory has a pay it forward option to where you could buy a cup of coffee or a pack of cookies or whatever it is for someone, and you fill a piece of paper out and you put it up on the wall.
Right.
And if someone comes in and either they don't have money on them or they can't afford it, they need that. You never know when you're going to need that one day.
Right.
It's up to the rest of us that have, to kind of give to the have-nots.
A lot of like-minded concepts. Yeah.
It's
great work, man.
So it's cool. It's a great charity.
Icing on the cake for everything else you've already contributed. So thank you from me, from Poughkeepsie, for everything you've been doing, man.
It's my pleasure.
And thanks for coming on the podcast, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it.
Come on.
All right. There we go. But Don Minichino, I almost said it wrong again. But First Fridays, think Dutchess. Grab yourself one of these. Be on the lookout. This is good material. Hudson Valley Young Professionals. If you feel like you want to be part of a great community of like-minded individuals, networking with great other individuals, and continue to do a lot more of this, Poughkeepsie development, make it a great place. Help us build our brand. We need y'all.
Let's do it.
But that's about it. And we'll play you out with some soothing theme music.
Take care, folks.